active duty military right
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
active duty.
Mhm.
Uh, so that the Afghan War seems like the most pointless 20 years in history at
To
this
who?
point. To me, I
To
mean,
you.
as soon as we left, the Taliban took over. So like, and they're even like kind of rubbing it in our face,
Repeat that.
as soon as we left and pulled out, the Taliban took over
Uh-huh.
like instantly. So what were we doing the last 20 years? I don't know. It seems like it was pointless. And the Taliban's giving, they told Joe Biden they want all U.S. troops out by September 11th, the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
So let me ask you this, right?
Uh-huh.
Because this is kind of the lane I actually not kind of this is the lane I am involved in within
Yeah.
my job within. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
As far as like strategic intelligence goes. So I don't want to speak on what I think because everyone is allowed to have their own opinions. But from the normal average civilian, and I say average just because you have no
Yeah.
affiliation
Yeah.
with it,
Yeah. I don't
right?
have anything. I don't
Normal
have any
person,
insight.
right?
Yeah.
Right, no,
Yeah.
no affiliation with it
Yeah.
outside of a friend.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
Uh,
And hold on, I don't just mean current state. I mean, 20 years later, here we are.
yeah.
20 years ago, we were here.
Yeah.
Summarize, what do you think?
Um,
Because we went over there. Sorry, we went over there because of 9/11.
yeah.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, I guess in my eyes, the whole 9/11 started with Bush saying they had
Weapons of
weapons of
mass
mass
destruction.
destruction. Yeah.
Right.
No evidence of it ever found. So then it kind of turned into let's try to stabilize this area uh, because we don't want terrorists to have a whole foothold on a country. Try to um, train them, supply them, and get them ready for when we do pull out. The inevitable would be uh, the Taliban try to take over again, and hopefully we had them trained and prepared and ready to uh, squash it down themselves, I guess.
Okay.
And they didn't at all.
But what's your take on it?
I
Good,
think it,
bad.
it sucks, dude. Honestly,
What sucks?
it looks like a waste of $2 trillion.
No way.
It looks like it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Um, and it's weird because everybody wanted out of Afghanistan.
Who's everybody?
Everybody has been talking about, like Trump was talking about pulling the troops out, before Biden,
Sure.
and
Sure.
so it's like we finally did it and it went terribly. So like, unfortunately, the blame kind of falls on Joe Biden, but
So I would say
he was just kind of doing what was it. I've heard that he was set up, that the intelligence community knew that was going to happen. And they were trying to make sure that he was telling everybody it wasn't going to happen because it was inevitable.
well, I'll say this, right? I don't think any one person deserves the blame,
Yeah.
right?
It's impossible
And
to blame one person. Yeah.
and I try and be, I try and speak with context, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's someone's fault. Here's why.
Yeah. It'd be like
Right.
trying to blame Trump for COVID and saying he killed
Right.
10 million people. And you're like, it's one fucking dude. How did he kill anybody?
And I don't want to, oh, it's all Biden's fault. No, especially in a situation like this, Do I think there's things that could have been handled better? Yes, because this is, like you said, the intelligence resources, they have their eyes on this situation every second of every day for the last 20 years.
Yes.
The resources that you couldn't even imagine,
Yeah.
right? So I don't think it's all Biden's fault, right? And I do obviously have to acknowledge Trump started the negotiations of how to withdraw troops from Afghanistan.
Yes.
Even before that, so did Obama.
Yep.
Obama did.
It's been a long conversation trying to get out of Afghanistan.
It has, right? Because Obama, that was when I first joined.
Yep.
2013, bro, when I joined, the slogan that was getting spread widely throughout the Marine Corps was the reawakening, right?
Uh-huh.
A new shape of the Marine Corps, because all the Marine Corps had known for the last 12 years was deserts,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., Taliban, like insurgent fighting,
Yep.
IEDs,
Yeah.
no more conventional war, it's unconventional,
Yep.
right?
Guerrilla warfare.
Exactly, guerrilla
Yep.
warfare.
Yep.
So I would say Obama kind of had the forefront of it. Trump, and he was 8 years, two terms.
Yeah.
Trump kind of revised it, revamped it. Biden was left with the crumbs.
Yep.
Now, it's tough to say, right? Because obviously, with me being active duty, I'm able to take myself out of the equation. We don't want to lose lives. We
None.
don't want to lose lives,
Yeah.
whether that be service members or whether that be Afghan locals, right?
Yeah. People fucking falling out of planes, you know? You
We
don't want
don't want
that
to
to
lose
happen.
lives,
Yeah.
man.
That looks
Nobody wants
horrible.
death is nobody enjoys it, right? You
Yeah.
can't prepare for it. Nobody
Mm-mm.
likes it.
Mm-mm.
With that being said, this is where I think it starts to depend on what someone believes or how they view the situation.
Yeah.
Democracy, bro, is a never-ending issue.
Yep.
And when we claim to be the world's power and we want to be the forefront of
Freedom.
freedom, right?
Yep.
Exactly. We want to be the forefront of freedom. We have to practice what we preach.
Yep.
In order to do that, you got millions, probably 1 to 2 million of Afghan locals who don't have a choice, bro.
Yeah.
They were either born into it or the kids are born into it. And by into it, I mean, it's like if you don't obey the rules, we'll take your mother, father, kids, everything. Or
Yeah.
we'll kill you. Or if
Yeah.
you don't
It's similar to the cartel running Mexico. It's just like,
So to kind of summarize it a little bit, or to speed this up a little bit with where I'm going, rather than just broad points, obviously we went over there for weapons of mass destruction. That
yep.
quickly turned into we're facing a real enemy like we haven't
Yeah.
seen before.
Yeah.
Outside of the Iraqi war, but
Yeah.
it's tough because we send all these different branches over there. There's obviously different countries that are playing an interest,
Yep.
whether it be allies, China, Russia. Everyone had a stake in there.
Yes, which is you can keep going, but I'll start going down my rabbit holes in a second.
So we all had a stake in it, right? Obviously, but
Yeah.
we're the forefront of it, right?
Yeah.
We're the one who declared we want to do this.
Yeah.
So how do you necessarily pull it at the right time? Because the Taliban, they don't have a time, bro.
So Easton told me yesterday they have a saying in the Taliban: America has all the watches, but we have all the time.
It's funny. Easton said that. I don't know if I've told you that before.
Yeah.
When I was going through the training of becoming an Intel guy,
Yeah.
Intel analyst, I was getting taught by one of my instructors. He did his time in the whole, the wars, and now he was giving back being
Yeah.
an instructor.
Yeah.
And he said the scariest thing he ever heard, he's sitting in a brief prior to the mission or prior to the op getting conducted. And, something similar was said. Basically, you have the watch, we have the time.
Yep.
So they were willing to wait this out. Why? Because they don't have a timeline, bro.
No.
That's the issue with this is you can't just pull people in and take people out.
Especially announcing you're taking them out.
Yeah, you can't just make it okay. In 4 years you want to take them out. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see how the normal, and no offense to you or anyone,
Yeah.
how the normal person would be like $2 trillion spent. Well, is it $2 trillion? Because how many lives were lost? How many lives were saved?
Yeah.
What do we do for the country of Afghanistan? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do we do for their government, their Iraqi forces, their army? You know what I mean? All the equipment we provided them, all the training, the resources. I can teach you how to be the best podcaster ever.
Yeah.
Or I can teach how to be the best whatever lawyer ever.
Yeah.
If I give you the tools, you have to apply them.
Yeah.
So is it our fault or is it their fault?
See, that's the thing. So that's what I was saying. It kind of just seems like I was saying that the whole point was to give them resources, let them know whenever we do pull out, the inevitable is going to happen. The Taliban is going to try to take over. So you need to be prepared. We're going to prepare you. And it seems like they were not prepared.
I mean, trust me, dude, there was a time when Afghanistan seemed to be under control.
Yeah.
And it has nothing, well, maybe it does, right? Well, it definitely does. During the Trump administration, Afghanistan was under control.
Yeah.
They knew you poke the bear, you're going to feel the repercussions.
There was a lot of I guess seriousness in Trump's foreign policy, and Donald Jr. brought a lot of peace agreements to the Middle East.
I mean, Afghan, I wouldn't say it was a completely safe country at the time, but it was under control, right? Like we
Mm,
knew what was going on. And this is all just broad terms because I mean, there's no way that we could discuss what I really, what is really, what
yeah,
has taken place. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I don't know if there's a right timeline, but like you have to keep some sort of presence there. You know
You
what I
have
mean?
to.
You have to. That doesn't
Yeah,
mean you take thousands on thousands on thousands every 6 months or every few months, but you have to have a system of rinse and rip, we call it. You
yeah,
go, guys touch, you know what I mean? I went, I did my time, replace me.
yep,
There has to be some sort of ongoing contingency that allows them to continue to train and advise so that this doesn't happen.
yeah,
With that, man, you know, if I have an agenda in my head and that's passed along through generations of generations, nobody's going to change me out of that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Their agenda, their utmost priority is to deter America. They,
To the Taliban.
absolutely.
Oh, dude, you can't ever put into the equation the passion of the enemy. And when they're
No,
fighting, a holy war, when they're fighting a war to take down
right.
America, to put Sharia law over the world, to bring, jihad to the world, dude. I don't care if you're like, I don't care if you have 4 times the amount of people.
Yeah.
If your 300,000 are kind of into it, and their 75,000 are literally willing to die for their holy war,
Yeah.
you lost.
I'm not a scholar, right? Like,
Yeah.
but this started well before the invasion
Yes.
of
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
started well before the invasion of Iraq
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
We moved into Iraq, bro, and I believe it was Baghdad, the city of
Yeah.
Baghdad. Said it would take months on months on months to capture and seize Baghdad as U.S. territory now,
Yeah.
or U.S. claim this.
Yeah.
Boots were on the ground. We took it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
They said months, years potentially.
Yeah.
So when America wants to get involved in the killing business,
They can
we
do it.
do it we do it at the highest
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks of saying, "Yep, this is ours now." I only say the whole scholar piece to say that this started well before that because they believe that's their land.
Yeah.
They believe America put them in this situation to begin with.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that'll say the Taliban and ISIS and Al Qaeda and AQAP and the Houthis backed by Iran, that we created all them.
We did. The CIA did. We armed them to I'm not too far into this knowledge, but I know that we armed them in order for them to take somebody out. We armed them as a militia, and then they took them out, and then they flipped on us. Which, I mean, whatever. You could have seen that coming, but
it's a complicated situation.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it a lot at work, obviously,
yeah,
and it's unfortunate, man. There's always going to be an enemy out there,
yeah,
right? Like that's the thing when you're talking about world relations and alignment and peace agreements, dog. You're trying to get countries on the same page as you. It's not going to happen.
People make it seem, especially with this whole World Health Organization, UN, like doing these mandates like worldwide and stuff. They had this false idea that globalism is like we're all going to get together and sing Kumbaya, right. And it's right. Unfortunately, somebody's going to want to sing Kumbaya, and while somebody's going around stabbing everybody in the back because they want control. Nobody wants to be together. Nobody wants to rule together.
That's the thing. It's like you get 20 guys together and try picking the same place to eat.
Yeah.
You might get majority.
Yeah.
And majority rules, right?
Yeah.
But now I have to have countries and hundreds of thousands of millions of people that are involved with these different countries, like in the Middle East, that no, this is how we want to do it. And if you don't agree, then you're wrong. Well, that's not realistic, but it's part of the business.
Yeah.
So it's a unique situation, man. And I am not a scholar. You know what I mean? I just think that you have to have a presence there because if you don't have a presence there,
I mean, you're not a scholar, bro, but you're in the, like you got a good, got a good idea of what you're talking about when it comes to this subject, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I do, but again, but
Yeah.
like I try and see it for what it is. Like
Yeah.
the $2 trillion, I get it, but how else do you fund a war, man?
Yeah. Yeah. And it just really sucks that it seems like a waste of time because literally as soon as we left,
Yeah,
it happened. It didn't
you
even
know,
take 2 weeks for them to take over.
it's
So
I don't want to speculate. You know what I mean? I have my own opinions and stuff, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
I don't know.
See now I can start getting down my rabbit hole if we can get off the
Yeah, go
actual
for it.
facts. I've been hearing rumblings, dude. It's an old war tactic. Once you conquer a place and you leave it, you scorch it. You destroy the land so you can't grow on it anymore. People can't take the land back and start thriving again.
Yeah,
So it's happened to an imperialist throughout history. So the only way to leave a place when you leave is to leave it in turmoil. It's just like history repeating itself over and over and over again.
yeah,
And so, like you said, there's actually a lot more countries who are invested in Afghanistan rather than just America. You
of
know,
course.
it's not
That-
just us. Everybody, especially Americans, we want to just think America versus the Taliban, Afghanistan, but there are a lot of countries who want control of the area, who want control of the resources, who want to have uh, access to the ports. It's whatever. It's the Middle East. It's kind of like smack dab in the middle of a lot of important things, even though the climate's known for, desert, nobody wants to live there. It's very rich in a lot of natural resources and stuff.
One in
So
particular,
yeah. Uh,
oil.
yes, exactly. Uh, and so it almost seems like if there are like it's undeniable that there are other countries invested in Afghanistan. So it
Yeah,
seems like this chaotic takeover, as soon as we start pulling our troops out and saying this stuff, it seems like it was like allowed to happen. There's too many countries who could have stepped in and said, we actually don't want Afghanistan to be taken over by the Taliban.
and you're
But
right. Countries very well could have intervened, but it's again,
yes,
do you want to fight that fight?
yeah,
Do you fund it? And that two
yeah,
trillion dollars, man. I think the frustrating thing for me is like, I saw something online the other day, and it was like $2 trillion. What that could have been spent on? Oh, like you can't do that,
yeah,
man.
no,
Like,
because
oh,
I mean,
it could end the student loan debt. It could end unemployment. It could fund small businesses, healthcare, hospitals, mortgages. And I'm like, bro, it's not like we had $2 trillion that was given to us from a trust fund, and it's like, hey, here's $2 million, America. It's like,
yeah,
no, there's an enemy who wants to knock on our door, which they did in 9/11, and
yeah,
that's scarred for life.
yeah,
So you either have to go put them in their place
yeah,
or face the consequences.
yeah. And yeah, I mean, you have to fund the war, it has to be. um but and again, this is another rabbit hole. War is a business in itself.
It is a business.
War makes a lot of evil people have funded both sides of a lot of wars. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of big banks and big money that have supplied funding and weapons to both sides because it
Bro,
makes them money. Chaos makes money.
war is probably the most expensive thing any country will ever have to
Yeah.
produce.
Endure.
And
Yeah.
and it is good for business. Why?
Yeah.
Because when you have something that a country is backing, everything has to be production wise.
Yep.
So logistics wise, transportation wise, economy wise,
Yeah.
food, medical,
Yeah.
healthcare,
Yeah.
schooling, training, all the money is going into these resources, which then is allowing them to expand. It's
Yeah.
the same thing of like, okay, I opened this small restaurant. Okay, well, we need to feed more people. We open a separate location.
Yep.
Volume's doing good. We have to expand. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Yep.
It's the same
And
thing with that.
this is totally unrelated, man. But COVID, big money maker. It's a war. It's literally a an attack on ourselves. It's like a home front war that we're putting on ourselves because it's making a lot of people a lot of money. And it's just nuts that everything you're saying about war applies to, you get a common, everybody has to be against COVID. Everybody, you got to get your shot for your neighbor. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing that. We're all on the same page. It's all
Right.
the news is
Right.
ever talking about is cases and breakthrough cases and variants. And it, it's sick, dude. It really, there's a lot of things going on outside the world, you know, other than COVID and Afghanistan. Unfortunately, I don't want to be like, I'm not there, so I don't want to think about it, you know, but I have a lot of good things going on for me every single day. You know, I work right on the fucking lake. I work with cool people. We might have differences and like political opinions, but we never bring them up. You know, we're all friends. And like the media doesn't want you to think that the world's that way. They want you to think everywhere you're going to go, you might get COVID, and everywhere
Yeah.
you're going to go, there might be somebody who's a closeted white supremacist, you know? And so it's just, it's really sad that, you know, there's not nuance to like all of these things and that we're not enjoying life, man. We live in the, like, America is the freest, most awesome country in the world, dude. And we're
It
just
is.
bringing like a media war on ourselves and like
It
this,
is.
it's just creating distrust and I don't know, man. It really fucking sucks, I think.
I don't think there's an easy fix. I know there's
Yeah.
not an easy fix. It's not a one thing switch. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, we do this, we're good. It's a collective effort. It's a hands-on effort from different parties, countries, you know, and that's what I'm saying, man. There's always an enemy out there,
Yeah.
you know? So, and back to what you're saying, America definitely is the best country in the world.
Hands down, ever.
And if someone thinks otherwise, it's like, okay, because you vacation in Europe, okay, well, that's a vacation.
I just
But
saw a million French people protesting lockdowns. So
so like because you vacationed 6 years ago and you have the time of your life, that doesn't mean whatever country that you went to is better. It's like, okay, really take a look at that. What is their freedom? What is their policies? What are their taxes? Do they allow you to be an entrepreneur?
yeah.
How much money does the government take?
Yep.
Because guess what? You or I can become a millionaire on our terms if we
Yep.
want. I don't know. I mean, I've been to like 9, 10 countries since I've been in.
Yeah.
Some third world countries, others beautiful, like Dubai.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, there's a huge gap between what people claim as this country, these countries are so much better. No, America's still the best, man.
Yes.
Like,
Hands down.
and it's not even just the best as in like scenery, because I'm not speaking scenery. I'm talking about like, guess what, man? You need to go to the hospital. You can go to the hospital today.
Yeah.
You can go get seen by some of the best doctors we have in this world today.
I hate when people say, you know, healthcare is right, blah, blah, blah. We need free healthcare, all this stuff. I'm like, listen, dude, healthcare is kind of free in America. Like, if you get in a car wreck and you're dying, they're going to fix you. And if you say, I can't pay for this, guess what?
They're still going to fix you.
They're still going to fix you. Like, you can get healthcare no matter what. Like, somebody will help you and they'll try to give you a bill later. It's not like they try to bill you before and, oh, your car got declined. No more surgery. It's like, oh, you need help. We got you. We have the resources. We have everything. And guess what? We'll just write it off if you can't pay it. You know, like
the healthcare, the transportation that we have, the schooling that we have, the systems that we have, the technology that we have. Collectively, it's easy to say, oh, this country, because you don't ever hear anything bad about them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm letting, like, you know, not me, but like, it's more than just what you see and what you don't see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the quality of life.
Yeah.
And just because our media is so loud over here as far as, oh, everything's portrayed to be so bad and America's falling apart, it may appear that way only because the media is wanting you to think that.
Yeah. Literally. And so, people who live in America and who don't like it, I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It is what it is, man. You know, there's plenty of Americans who live in here who don't like one bit of America.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But so you said you've been in 10 countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Philippines was one, or like Taiwan was one of them, or
Philippines.
I just recently heard that they have transgender like women who are like so attractive that you can't even tell they're trans. Is that
you recently heard that?
I recently heard that on, I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast. They were talking maybe like with Andrew Schultz or something, and they were like, I just had a friend go to the Philippines and they told me like there's a lot of trannies and they're pretty banging. You couldn't even tell. Like, is that something that you are there like a lot of trannies in the
Yeah,
Philippines? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's weird. Why? I mean, not weird, but that's what they're known for. Like, not known for, but like kind of like an unwritten thing is like
bro.
there's a lot of trannies in the Philippines.
I was there for 4 or 5 weeks. I think
Yeah.
5 weeks, right? Working
Yeah.
with uh, the Philippine Air Force
Yep.
and all of their guys, and obviously we have our downtime, our liberty. Go out, see whatever.
Yeah.
100%, man. You know, you wouldn't be able to tell that's a guy or a girl.
And it's like you should almost have your guard up 24/7 there that it could be a guy or
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't say your guard up, but like you got to be careful.
yeah, yeah. Don't drink a little. Did they drink sake there?
Um,
Or is that just
they
like an
do. They got
American? Is that like an
everything.
American Asian thing? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's prevalent in the Asian Pacific, but that is the
Yeah.
Asian Pacific, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Uh yeah, that literally had me cracking up. And I thought about you like instantly. I was like, I'm pretty sure Robbie was there. I wonder if you could speak on that.
but dude, it was beautiful.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, the places I saw, I went. I mean, from the scenery to the life, like to the nightlife, it was
yeah.
beautiful.
Did the nightlife, yeah. So they have some pretty cool clubs there. I went out to a couple bars.
Dude, the bars were good. Everything's
Yeah,
super
yeah,
cheap. The,
yeah,
the the place we stayed was beautiful. I mean, we were flying. So I was with my last unit. We were flying, dude, in our helicopters, and we were flying over like volcanoes and mountains, and like mountain lines and waterfalls and stuff. It's beautiful.
that's dope.
So it's cool. It's definitely one of the better places I've been.
Yeah. What's the worst place you've been to? If you can, like, if you were, if you're allowed to talk about if it's like oh, I wasn't supposed to be there type thing, you don't have to. But what's the worst place you've been to that?
It's like quality of life.
Yeah, you're just like, man, like this is a shithole. Like I feel really bad for everybody who lives here because they live in a shithole. And even if maybe it wasn't a shithole, you know what I'm saying, dude? But like, what's just
Uh,
like, oh man, that's poverty. That's poverty like I haven't seen.
Africa was pretty beat up.
Yeah, yeah. What
That's,
parts would you? I mean, Africa's a huge ass
I
continent.
went to Djibouti.
Okay.
So Djibouti sits just across from Yemen,
Hmm.
just north of Somalia.
Yeah.
Um,
So like North Africa.
yeah, North
Yeah,
Africa right
yeah,
there. So
yeah.
they got a joint base there, and I was there for a month as well. And it's right outside the Red Sea
Okay.
and the Arabian Peninsula,
Yep.
and it's poverty, man. It's
Oh, it's sad. Yeah,
third world country at its finest.
yeah. God, man, those like slum huts I see like in India, like on flyovers and stuff, dude. You know what I'm saying? Just like stuff like that makes me so sad, man. Just people literally living in filth and just poverty. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, and I mean, yeah, and then in America, we have so many. Everything else is figured out that we got to start yelling at people for being mean on Twitter and stuff, you know, and trying to start ban people from the internet. You saw Twitter was going to let Taliban accounts keep their accounts.
yeah, that's crazy.
That's apps. That's the most fucking
That
nuts thing I've ever seen in my
that just
life.
that just makes me like wonder, bro. Like, what are we really prioritizing?
Literally, because I mean, they'll kill you in like Afghanistan for like being gay. You know what I'm saying? Like the Taliban's not going to put up with that. You know, there's
Mhm.
not. And China has all these things that they're doing that's going on that's nuts. You know, and we're like so happy that we voted Trump out of office because he was like calling it the China virus or calling people fat on Twitter. You
Right,
know,
right,
and
right.
it's just like what are we worried about? Like we
Yeah,
should all be concerned about third world countries, and just
protecting our
like,
freedom.
yeah, literally just trying
Yeah,
to, I don't know. It's really nuts. It's just unfortunately, dude, every single civilization who's ever experienced world dominance has experienced this where life gets too easy. And I think it was Joe Rogan talking about this, dude. A lot of them, the fall of empires, the first thing you can kind of start to tell that the empire is falling is they become obsessed with gender. They become obsessed with sex and gender and just like things like that. Like that's like was one of the things that happened to Rome. They became a
Yeah.
very liberal and I guess I don't know really much more of it, but yeah, and he was just talking on it. Just it's weird how becoming obsessed with gender is a almost like a forefront of an empire falling.
Mm. I mean, it's an easy concept, man. If there's a big bad bully and the big bad bully leaves, who's going to be the new bully?
Yep. And once you conquer all the bullies, it's like, what else do we have? Oh,
Yeah.
you're being mean on yeah. So uh I mean, I'm all for, calling a person their preferred pronouns. I guess no difference to me,
Yeah.
Uh but I don't necessarily agree with everything else that's going on
Bro,
with it. But
completely unrelated
yeah,
to any of this.
yeah.
The Patriots looked good last night.
That's what I heard, dude.
35-0. And I get it, it's the Eagles. They didn't have a lot of their starters, but NFL football, man,
Yeah.
they put them in their place,
Yep.
right? Cam looked good. I don't care what anyone watches. Like, oh, Cam's washed. Okay, so be it. He looked good.
Yep.
Mac looked phenomenal. Our run game was whatever we wanted to do. Like
I mean,
our defense was flying around. Joe Flacco looked awful.
yeah.
So, makes me excited. I tweeted this morning. I said Pats will win the AFC East.
I don't
Odds
think so.
Oh, they will.
I don't think
And
so.
they definitely will. And odds are 280 right now, plus 280 right now.
See, that's surprising. I thought they'd be like a plus 400 or something.
Well, I think Miami was initially when it first came out with the odds. Miami was the second favorite, but I think acquisitions got made. People started to pick their heads up and like, okay, Pats are second favorite.
Yeah.
But easy.
What are the Bills though? What are the Bills only like minus 180?
I think minus like 130, I think.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
And if the Bills win, I'll tell you right now, it won't be easy.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a run game and a good defense, you're going to be in most games, So that's all the Patriots have to do is be in all the games and let the cards fall where they may. They might go
Bills are minus 160.
8 and 9. Huh?
Bills are minus 160.
See, I would have thought they were like minus like 2 something.
They're good, bro, but
they're not favored like that in Vegas.
It's if the Bills win, I'll say I'm wrong. Obviously, I think the Pats do make the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see us split with the Bills. I could see us going 10-7, 11-6.
No, I think 10-7 is probably what you're saying. I think 8 and 9 and 10 and 7 is
8 to 9, 10 and 7. I see 11-6 as our ceiling.
Oh, well, I think the Cowboys ceiling is about 8 and 9.
So we open up week 1 in Foxborough against Miami.
Okay.
And
statement game right there. Yeah,
I think we're gonna blow the doors off that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Bill's got the army ready, bro.
I think Miami's gonna come in, obviously, like you said, a statement game in a league where preparation and preparing and practice is
everything. You practice all week for one game. In the NBA, you never practice.
Everything, right? Yeah. And now you had a full off season. All your acquisitions are back. All your guys who sat out for COVID are back. Preparing makes up the NFL, right? You don't prepare, you lose.
Yep.
Where NBA, a guy can go get 50. You're in the game, come to the last second. Same thing with MLB. Your ace can get rocked.
Yep.
I guess similar concepts apply. Your quarterback can play bad. But if you prepare and game plan for that, they're going to come in, and I just see us pushing them around. And whatever that line is, bro, like I think I might slam it.
You might slam it?
I might. Week 1.
Yeah. All right. I'll be looking forward to it. I think it's a great place to end on football about a time. So
yeah.